In this video, we'll be learning about views in Laravel. In Laravel, we keep application logic separate from the presentation logic. And you can see we keep the views inside the resources folder. You can see a folder views. And we'll be keeping all the view files inside this. So let's go to our editor. Here you can see that we are having a project. So this is a continuation from what we stopped on the previous video. If you don't watch the previous video, go and watch the video. It was about controllers. I will give the link for that in the description and you can watch that and continue this video from here. So here you can see that we are having the folder resources. Inside the main root project folder, you can see we are having the folder resources, and inside that we will be having views, and inside we'll be having all the view files. In Laravel, we'll be using Blade templating for all the view files. So first of all, let's see how to create a view file. So open the terminal and we are having the command to create it. PHP artisan make view, then the file name. PHP artisan make view login, and login is the file name. And if you hit enter, you can see it is created. And let's go to our views file and you can see login.blade.php. So by default, it is having the extension blade.php. So we can also create it by going to new and simply create a new file, and you can name it file name file.blade.php. This is also right. Okay. You can either use the command or you can simply create one. That's it. So here in this view, we can simply give let's give a h1 tag and we can type login. So in order to identify this file, we can give an h1 and then we can go to our controller, HTTP inside the controller. Hope you remember we learned about controllers in the previous video, and we can open the auth controller. We created this auth controller in the previous video. If you don't know, watch the previous video. I'll give the link in the description, or you can go to the playlist. So the playlist will also be given in the description. Here we are having a function create. So let's go to the routes and see from where we are calling this. So inside the route web.php, we already seen about routes. So if you haven't watched the video about routes also, you can go to the playlist and watch it. Okay. So we are calling create from this route. Okay. So let's change this route to something like login. Okay. And we can also change this function name also in order to identify this better. Login. Okay. And we can remove these routes here because we use this for learning purpose only. So let's remove it. And now we can go to the auth controller and we can remove these functions as well and change the name of this function to login. Okay. And here we'll be returning a view instead of a string. So you can return a view like this, view, and inside that we can give the name of the view. So this is the name of the view file. You can see that login.blade.php. You don't have to write blade.php here. Laravel will automatically detect it. Now we can try running this. So let's open the terminal once more and type PHP artisan serve. Hit enter. And let's open this link. Okay, you can see it is not found because we are not having the route for slash. So don't worry. So our route right now is /login. So type /login and hit enter. And hit enter. So you can see we are inside the login. So you can see the view is also loaded properly. So let's minimize the terminal and we've seen how to return a view. And let's see how to return a nested view. So by nested view, we simply mean if we are having a folder inside this views folder. Okay, let's create a folder, something like auth. Okay. And we'll be moving this file inside the auth folder. And when I try to move, you can see it is showing refactor options. This is an feature inside PHP Storm. If you're using VS Code, you may not have this option. So don't worry, simply move this file inside this auth folder. And now you can see the file is inside the auth folder. And now we have to go to the browser and refresh the page and check. Okay, let's refresh the page and you can see we are getting an error. So here it is saying view login not found. That's because we have moved the login file inside the auth folder. So let's specify that. So in order to specify that, we can come here and here we can type auth, the folder name. Instead of giving a slash, we are going to use dot. That's it. So instead of giving a slash, we'll be using dot. That's all. So auth dot login. That is the file name. Simple. Now let's go and refresh the page. You can see when we refresh the page, we'll be getting this login again. So if you go to the Laravel documentation, we can see that we have covered this, creating a view, and we'll be going to this soon. So let's scroll down further and we have seen this also, nested view directories, that is using the dot operator instead of slash. And let's scroll down further and you can see this one, the first available view. Okay, before that we can see how to pass a value. This one, okay. So in order to pass the value, we can come here and let's give a comma here. And if you go to this function, you can simply hover over this function. If you're using PHP Storm, you can see the info like this. So here we can see that the second option is an array. Okay. And this is used to pass the values to the view. Okay. Let's see that. So let's create an array and we can pass name. Okay. This is the key name. And the next one is the value. So now we are passing the name codeseasy to this view. Okay. So this is an associative array. So we are passing the name. So in order to access this name, we can go inside this login.blade.php. And here we can directly access the value, use the double curly braces and give $name. That's it. So now this will print login hyphen and then the name that we are passing. So the name is codeseasy. So let's try running it. So here, if we refresh the page, we can see login hyphen and the name that we passed. So hope you understand that. So let's see how to pass more than one value. So you know that this is an array. So you can hit an enter from here and we can pass more than one value. Simply give a comma here and we can give another value just like this. So let's say date and you can pass the date here. Okay, see? So that's it. You can pass multiple values like this. So now if you go to the view and access the date, so let's come here and let's give a dot, give a space, give a dot and let's print $date. Okay, now let's run it. Let's refresh the page here and you can see the date also here. See, that's all. Now we can also use some other ways to pass the value. So let's remove this array. And instead of array, we can use with. Okay, with we have to give the key name and then the value. Okay, so we are passing name and value, let's say codeseasy itself. Okay, now we are passing name. So let's go to the view and let's remove the date because we are only passing one. Okay, so if you want to pass more than one, you can do that. Okay, let's go to the controller again and let's come here and we can pass one more value simply like this. Remove the semicolon. Okay, simply like this. Okay, you can simply add one more with and change it to date and let's change the value. Okay, now let's refresh the page. Let's refresh the page and you can see we are passing both values also. See, now we are using the with method. We can also use one more method. So let's see that also. There are many methods. So you can come here, give a comma, and you can use compact. So in order to pass the value inside compact, we can create a variable. Let's say name equal to, okay, codes easy. So now we are having a variable here. So we can pass that variable here. Okay, simply give a code and we can pass name. See? So now we are passing name. And if you're having more than one, let's say date, give a date here. And let's pass the date here. Now we are passing date and name. Okay, give a semicolon here. Okay. So hope you understand this. Now if you run this, it will also show the date and name because we are showing the date and name here. Okay. So hope you understand that. We are passing date and name to this view, that is inside auth folder login.blade.php. Okay. So let's run it. Here, let's refresh the page and we can see we are displaying the name and the date. So that's it. So the next thing that you can see here is creating the first available view. So you can simply return the first available view. You can simply give an array of views and whichever view is available first, it will return that view. So it is basically like checking if view exists and give the view name. And if this view exists, you can return this view. Otherwise, return another view. Just like that, this is going to check if the first view is available. If it is not available, it will be checking for the next one. And it goes on like that. So whenever it finds a view that is available, it will return that view. So that is first available view. So you can learn more about it. We'll be checking all this in detail on coming videos because we'll be doing projects and all. So let's go to the next thing. So passing data, we have seen it. So hope you understand that. We can pass it like this as an array and we can use compact and also use the with method. Okay, now let's see sharing data with all views. So if you want to share a particular data with all the views, you can do something like this. So you can read this. I'm not going to read this. So let's add a data and show you. Okay, you can see we can add something like this inside the service provider, app service provider. Okay, so you can also create one, and if you are creating one, you have to add it to the config file. So let's do it inside the app service provider itself. So let's go to the providers. So here you can scroll to the top. Inside the app folder, we can see providers. So inside the providers, you can see app service provider. So here we are having boot method. So you have to come inside this boot method and we can type view. And when you are choosing the class, you have to choose illuminate/support/fragments. So you have to import the class from inside that. If you go to the top, you can see the use statement is added on the top. So you have to use this exact use statement. And let's come here and we can use the method share. Now we can give the key name. Let's give the name. So this is the key name and then the value is codes easy. Give the semicolon. So now we can try accessing this name from multiple views. So let's go to the views. Okay, we are having two views, welcome and login. So let's go to login. And now we are not having the state. So let's remove the state from here. So we have to remove the name from the controller also in order to test this. So let's go to the controllers, HTTP controllers and auth controller. And we can remove this. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, so now we are not passing anything here. Okay, you can see that. And we are only passing this name from this file. Okay, so let's go to login view, and here we are printing name. Okay, and inside blade also, let's copy this, and inside welcome we can paste this and change login to welcome. Okay, and we are also printing welcome hyphen and the name. So we are not using this welcome view file. So let's go to web.php, the route file, and let's create one more route on the top, and we can remove this login here. I simply copied this previous route. That's it. Okay. So if you are wondering what happened right now, in PHP Storm, you can simply click on the line and type Ctrl+D, and it will duplicate the line. That's it. So change the route to this one, and the controller. Okay, the controller, let's create a function inside here. For now, since we are just testing it, we can type function index. Okay, return view, and the view that we are going to return is welcome. So if you go to the view file, you can see we are having view, and it is inside this root view folder. Okay, that's why we are using it like this. Okay, hope you understand this. This is inside the auth folder and it is outside it. Okay, and now let's call this index here. Okay. Okay, so now we are having two routes. So this one will be loaded when we are not having anything after the slash, and this is when we are having /login. Okay, so we are printing the name on both views, and we are not passing anything inside the controller. So let's go to the controller, and you can see that we are only passing the value name from the app service provider. So now let's go to the browser and refresh the page. So now let's refresh the page here, and you can see login and then the name that we passed from the service provider. And we can remove the slash from here and hit enter, and you can see welcome hyphen and the name that we passed. So hope you understand that. Next, we'll be seeing about view composers. So view composers are methods that are called when a view is rendered, and they bind the data with the view. We use view composers in order to prevent duplicate code, or if you are using the same view in multiple regions. In these situations, we'll be using view composers in order to make the code much cleaner, and it will be more easier to work with also. So we'll be discussing about view composers in detail in coming videos. So right now we can see a short demo how it works. So let's go to the editor. So in order to implement and test it, we can come inside this app service provider. You can find that inside the providers, app service provider. So we are not going to create a new service provider. We are going to use this for now. And we can remove this share option from here. And we can do view. And you have to choose illuminate, support, fracades, and then the view. And we can use composer, and inside that we can pass two things. That is, one is the view, and if you are going to specify a particular view, you can give the name of the view like login or welcome, etc. If you want the value inside all the view, we can use the star like this. Okay, and give a comma, and then we can either pass a class or you can pass a function, callback function. We'll be seeing this in detail on coming videos. So right now I'm going to show a very simple example, and there are many other ways you can use this feature. I will be showing that in detail. And here we can, okay, here we'll be getting view here. So $view, and the view that you are getting here is of type view, and you have to select this view, not the view that we selected earlier. Okay, the second one, that is illuminate/view. So here you can see the class is typed here. Okay. And this view is from this one. Okay. Use illuminate slash support slash fragment slash view. Okay. So you have to add this, and this view is from here. Okay. Since it is PHP, you can simply remove it also. Okay. And you can keep it like this. And dollar view, and you can use with, just like we did inside the controller. We can give the name, give comma, and we can pass the name here. See, now all the view will be having this name that is passed. Okay. So let's try refreshing the pages. So let's come here and we can refresh this page. And you can see the name is still there. So hope you understand that. So there are many other applications for this, and we'll be discussing that in detail on coming videos. And let's go to the documentation and see the remaining things. You can refer this and maybe read this and learn more about it. We'll be discussing it in detail on coming videos. And okay, optimizing view, those are two commands. So it is PHP artisan view cache, and it will cache the view, and you can clear the cache using this command. So you can simply run this and it will cache the view, and that's it. It will clear the view. So that's all. So hope you understand about views in Laravel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for more such videos.